You are watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Hello and welcome to Focus on Germantown. I'm Mayor Mike Palazzolo. It's my pleasure and privilege each month to host this show, offering conversation and comment about city government and how it provides services and works with you, our citizens. This is an exciting time for growth in the city of Germantown. The Board of Aldermen has selected a group of 30 citizens for a strategic planning steering committee. This group of volunteers has graciously made a year-long commitment to the city to update our current strategic plan. Each month, we will have one of the committee members on the show to discuss their progress. I will introduce this month's guest in a minute. Later in our second feature called What's New, we will tackle economic development in Germantown. I will share the city's second annual Business and Industry Report, which was introduced at the Business and Industry Summit last month. But let's start with our strategic plan. Just like the committee that is meeting now, in 2003, dozens of citizens volunteered, created a mission for Germantown. That mission was turned into a guiding document, and Vision 2020 was implemented in 2005. But this document isn't just sitting on the shelf gathering dust. It is a living, breathing document which is reviewed each year by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen to ensure the vision is still relevant. As we move closer to the year 2020, we felt it was time to lay the groundwork for our future growth and the next long-range strategic plan. Join us now to discuss why this work is important is one of the three co-chairs of the steering committee, Terry Fischer. Welcome, Terry, to the show.
Thanks, Mayor. Very excited to be here.
It's glad to have you. Just to ask a few questions about this year's process, can you tell me a little bit about the committee and its makeup?
Okay, well, as you mentioned, there's 30 citizens that serve on this community, or this committee. It's a community-led effort, so all members of the Germantown community, all walks of life, all ages, from retirees, business owners who live in Germantown and both own businesses in Germantown. We have folks like myself that have young families that are in school here in Germantown. And we even have a couple of high school participants as well, one from Germantown High and one from Houston High. And I have to tell you, they are very engaged in what's going on, and very engaged in the political process and what's going on around Germantown. So we are very excited to have them.
It's an exciting time, definitely, and we know that so much in the city is hinged on education and economic development, but that's not what this vision is all about specifically. Tell us a little bit about what the subcommittees may be made up of in the next year or so.
Sure. So as we have this main steering committee, we'll also be forming lots of small subcommittees or task forces, and they're going to go out and look at all aspects of everything involved with the city and life around the city. So, we'll look at those big things like public safety, police and fire, and all of those things that keep us safe. We will delve into some education issues and look at how that affects the city. Of course, economic development and things around what can the city do to encourage business in the city, or businesses to come to the city and open. We're going to be looking at quality of life issues, things like parks and recreation, new things that we didn't look at before, like we've got a lot of new health care in the city, and what can we do to be a healthy city and take care of our citizens here. We're going to bring technology into it. We didn't have a technology committee last time, 15 years ago. So we're going to look at ways that technology enables us as a city and helps our citizens interact with the city, and what can we do there. There may be more committees. Mm-hmm. We just don't know on some of those as we start to form that vision what areas or other areas we'll need to go out and focus on.
Well, Terry, you mentioned technology, and technology has changed in 10 years. Obviously, sometimes technology changes in as little as 1 year's time frame. What do you see as technology having a role with Vision 2020, the successor to our 2020 plan this time around?
Well, we're much more connected than we were when the last vision was done. All of the committee members are now connected through technology. The city's actually provided us with a mechanism to share information through technology. No longer printing out lots of papers, lots of binders, budgets, all that information that has to get out to our committee members. We're now doing that electronically. One of the other things that enables us to do is have some discussions around those documents. We want to be very cognizant of these people's time. They're putting a lot of investment and a lot of their personal time into this committee. So we want to be respectful of that time and being able to work on some of that and provide input outside those meeting times is very important.
For some of us old school guys out there like myself, tell us about this base camp that I think all 30 members are part of, that again, I think they can share ideas, pictures, things like that. Elaborate a little bit about that.
Right, it's almost like a little, I don't want to call it a social media site, it's more than that, but it allows us to upload documents, it allows us to discuss documents. At our very first meeting, we gave out an assignment to go out, and we call it the good, the bad, and the ugly. We want all 30 committee members to go out and take pictures of the community. The last time they had the vision, they gave them the little box cameras, the disposable cameras, I think, that they had to come in, and they could take a couple pictures with those. Well, now they've got their cell phones with cameras built in on them. So whenever they're out, they can take a picture on their cell phone, upload it right up to the site, and then all the other committee members can take a look at that, and we can discuss them. So it's very exciting because at the end of the process, we'll have an electronic record and everything we've discussed and everything we've done. We'll be able to go back and look at that, and hopefully future committees that come back and do the same exercise, they can then look at that information and help guide them and know what we were thinking about and talking about here in 2015.
Well, just with a few moments left, it is an exciting time, Vision 2020, and we hope that your committee will probably come up with a better name
yes.
Since we're on the horizon of 2020. But let us, the people, know kind of how they can get involved. I think the vision for this whole year-long project was to get as many citizens involved as possible. Please share how maybe our citizens can get involved.
Sure. Well, this is a group that is being facilitated by the citizens, or run by the citizens. We've got administrative staff there to help us and help guide us through some of these processes, but the citizens are the ones that are going to come up with the vision. We're going to be creating these task forces. We're going to be looking for citizen input on these, so I think you'll see some of the releases that come out in the near future are going to have ways for citizens to sign up to be involved in city subcommittees, expressed interest in where they want to help serve in the city. On these different committees that are going to be formed. And also all of our meetings are open meetings. So if any citizen wants to come and see what we're doing, be able to sit in the room and hear all the different things that are being discussed, they're always welcome to come and attend. It'll be posted on the city website with the dates and the times every month.
Great, Terry. Well, we appreciate it. We thank you for your service. Again, I keep using the word exciting, and it's maybe I'm wearing it out, but this is going to be the time that Germantown really gets to come together and have a vision for the next 20 to 25 years. We're about to take a short break. Please stay with us as we return here in a moment.
Preventing wildfires. That's all Smokey wants for his 70th birthday.
Hello, I'm Germantown Mayor Mike Palazzolo. I want to let you know about something special you'll be seeing in your Germantown water bill this month. In cooperation with the Germantown Education Foundation, the City of Germantown is asking residents to fill the fountain of knowledge. Donations to the Germantown Education Foundation directly support academic programs in the Germantown Municipal School District. To donate, please fill out the form, return it with your water bill. You can make a one-time donation or monthly contribution. For more information, visit www.germantowneducationfoundation.org, and thank you for supporting Germantown.
You are watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Welcome back. To conclude today's show in this segment, what's new in the city of Germantown? One of several initiatives defined in the city's economic development strategy, the annual Business and Industry Report, is in its second year. The 2015 report made its debut at the second annual Business and Industry Summit last month. The report contains information about Germantown's economic drivers and factors during 2014. Included in this report are the 5 principal guiding economic development activities, a map and descriptions of the 5 commercial districts, descriptions of special programs to encourage business retention and expansion, and to attract visitors and shop locally. The City by Numbers Office and retail and occupancy rates, news and renovation permits, unemployment rates, business license, sales tax revenue, hotel occupancy tax revenue, as well as other information. Here with me now is Cameron Ross, Germantown's Economic and Community Development Director, to talk with me about the Business and Industry Report. Cameron, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mayor. Good to be here.
All those things I listed are quite a mouthful,
Yes,
which
they
means
are.
that your department has done much work over the last couple of years. The Business and Industry Summit was quite successful, close to 100 attendees. Please share a little bit of what occurred recently at the summit.
Well, we were privileged to have the new Tennessee Economic and Development Commissioner for the state to be our keynote speaker. Also had a development panel featuring current developers, site selectors, designers, and commercial brokers who talked about their role in the development process. And then I was also up there, but I felt like I was a punchline more than anything so that they could pick on me a little bit.
Well, let me tell you what, we've had good feedback from the summit. There's a lot of activity occurring in Germantown. Close to 20 projects are either approved or out of the ground. Some reports say $180 to $220 million in economic activity. Perhaps highlight some of the top 3 or 4 projects that are currently going on in the Central Business District.
Well, I'd say from talking to our residents and other folks around town, the most excitement is around the Whole Foods market that should be coming in early summer, the Kroger expansion, which is going from about 40,000 square feet to about 100,000 square feet, which should also be coming online around early summer, and then the Saddle Creek expansion, which will result in about 85,000 square feet of retail shopping here in Germantown, and that should be open also in the May-June timeframe.
Well, I've told people in the community this will be a spring to remember in Germantown. There will be much blooming, but the bloom will be retail. I know that our citizens oftentimes give us feedback that they want shopping and dining choices, and it seems like with these developments, those choices will be expanded. What do you see on the horizon in the Central Business District and also in the areas that we call the city gateways?
I think that there is much more to come. I'm a resident of Germantown, and my wife is constantly trying to get me to tell her what's coming, and I can't even tell my wife, so I can't give you too many specifics. But I think that we are, as you say, in a growth period, and it is going to be a spring to remember here in Germantown. We do have on the horizon a true mixed-use development coming up. It's called Thornwood, and it will have approximately 250 multifamily dwelling units. It will also have a full mixed-use complement of residential, retail, and office space, along with the hotel and some other smaller retail space associated with it. And that's going to come as a $150 million investment into our city.
And very much a nice blend of mixed uses. If you look at that area in total, we have a premier retirement community, the Thornwood project you mentioned, then a residential development adjacent to the east, and then you have pretty much our entertainment district, so to speak, with Germantown Performing Arts Center, the athletic club, the Great Hall and Conference Center, our library, and our park. So truly a mixed-use village. Expound a little bit on, to transition somewhat, Germantown over the years has really become known as a regional healthcare provider. Share some of the things that have been approved lately that will expand our healthcare in this region.
Well, one of the crown jewels of our medical corridor, the Campbell Clinic, chose to locate out here in Germantown over 20 years ago, and they recently had a 120,000 square foot expansion approved. We also have new medical offices opening up to the west on Wolf River Boulevard, which will house, among other things, a new radiology clinic, and then a new ophthalmologist is opening up along with other medical office suites at the corner of Kimbrough and Wolf River Boulevard.
Excellent. And then one other area, we refer to them as business nodes. I think our citizens may be more attuned if we call them our gateways or entry points in our city. Expand a little bit about our gateways. We've done a study on the Western Gateway. We have another study on the horizon in a different part of town. Share with our viewers a little bit about those upcoming projects.
So these gateways are really areas that we've targeted for strategic redevelopment and development that will really showcase what is possible here in Germantown. It all starts with a vision at each of these areas that sets the tone for the zoning that goes in place and the other regulations that sort of create these places. You know, it's a real place-based approach to economic development, and as one of the guys that I've looked to over the years says, it's economy shaping through placemaking.
Well, excellent. We just have a few more seconds left. You've been here in Germantown for a little bit over a year. You came from Cincinnati. Are you happy on the transition being here in the city?
I do love it here in Germantown. As I think lots of people have started to say, life is good here in Germantown, and it's been very welcoming over the last year, and we have made our home here in Germantown.
Thank you, Cameron. Cameron Ross, our Community and Economic Development Director. I want to thank you for being with us today. We're about to take a short break. Please stay with us as we return here in a moment.
This new dad is picturing a tree house in the sky, but he's ignoring the instructions. Good luck, big guy. His kids know that he's building without a clue. Never been so good with nails and glue. Now we're trapped inside a box. I hope mom knows what to do. Mom! See, you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
Mom.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
You are watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Thanks for joining us. We're back with Cameron Ross. Cameron is the Community and Economic Development Director for the City of Germantown. We're going to go inside the numbers in this segment. Recently, Germantown had its annual business and industry report and put out the report. I like some of the monikers on here: smart business, smart growth, smart people. Why Germantown? Germantown is one of a few cities in the country with a AAA bond rating in both S&P and Moody's. Top business-friendly city in the country, safest place in Tennessee, America's best suburbs, top 10 happiest suburbs. All these things we call home here in Germantown. Cameron, let's go inside the numbers a little bit. This is mainly one of your many responsibilities with the city. Tell us some of the good news in your report.
Well, if we focus on the development districts, the 5 strategic areas that we are focusing on for increasing development in the city, we can look at potential development impacts of anywhere between $300 and $2 million in the West Poplar Gateway. Within the Central Business District, we've currently got over $175 million of investment going on in the district. That includes Saddle Creek, the Kroger expansion, Whole Foods, Thornwood mixed-use development, and other smaller investment within the district. Within the Wolf River Medical Corridor, we're looking at approximately $55 million in development. And just on the southern part of town, we've got almost $5 million in investment in that area, with more to come. Some of the smaller numbers that the report highlights is a 60% increase in business licenses and over $1 million in higher commercial permits being pulled from last year to this year, and then another $1 million in sales tax revenue that's generated from last year's fiscal year to this year's fiscal year.
And these things are very important for the city of Germantown for a number of reasons, and probably one of the primary, Cameron, is to diversify the tax base. Our city has long had a tradition of being a bedroom community with no industry, no manufacturing, and so our property taxes are pretty much what we rely on for revenue. This growth that you see, what will it do to our tax base?
This growth will help us maintain the level of service and the quality of life that residents of Germantown have grown accustomed to, appreciate, and continue to grow out here without having to raise that tax base significantly.
And this is important, you know, as the Germantown began its own school district, we have a reliance on sales tax, and sales tax growth really represents somewhere around 16% of our annual budget. If we're able to grow that to 20% or so, it'll take much less burden off of us residential property owners. What does this mean, this modern urbanism smart growth that we see in our central business district? Does that do anything to our neighborhoods, or is it confined in a certain area?
I'd say that it's targeted growth to that area, to the central business district, to the West Gateway, that creates that 24-hour community, if you will, the live, work, play, that doesn't necessarily get that commercial creep into our residential base, but really complements our residential base and creates those accessible, walkable opportunities from our traditional residential development to the new mixed-use developments that are starting to occur.
Just prior to you coming to the city of Germantown, the city went through about an 18-month process of developing an economic development strategic plan. That plan has been completed, and now it's beginning to be implemented. As it's being implemented, where do you see growth in our city? And also, as you and your staff are doing more things, are we focused on waiting for the phone to ring, or are we more proactive as far as recruiting business?
We're definitely taking a proactive approach, and if you look across the board at the 20 active projects that we are currently managing, they run the spectrum of more residential developments. We have approximately 180 lots coming online in the next 18 months to a $150 million mixed-use development that is within our central business district. And each day we get more calls of, we want to come to Germantown, where can we locate, this is what we want to do. And those inquiries run the spectrum of residential development to full mixed-use developments.
Just at the conclusion of the Great Recession, there were some years where we had less than 20 and sometimes even single digits with residential home starts. And now we're at 180 or so, is that correct?
That is correct.
That's outstanding. You know, the city is poised for growth. Recently in the last year, we had 3 major purchases within our community. A premium apartment complex was purchased for a record price. A shopping center was purchased for a record square footage, and also a retirement community as well. Is it safe to say that the national market is aware of Germantown and aware of the potential that lies within our city?
I would say that we are definitely out there, and people are aware of us, and they are looking to come here and locate. They recognize our demographics, they recognize our buying power, and they recognize the workforce that we have here as well.
What plans do you have in the future? I know you're taking a trip to Nashville to be involved in some conference. Can you elaborate on that?
So Germantown is one of 4 TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority, Platinum certified communities in the 8-state TVA coverage area. And so we go to Nashville every year for the TVA Economic Development Forum, where we talk to the leadership of TVA and interact with other TVA learning communities to learn from one another and also to maintain that status. And it's a good networking opportunity. Developers are there, other communities are there, and of course funders are there.
Great. Mr. Ross, thank you for being with us today. We wish you the best of success at the conference, and hopefully we're going to keep you busy in the city of Germantown with more growth.
Looking forward to it.
This report offers residents, business owners, and prospects a quick examination of the local economy and identifies the city's attributes that make it not only a great place to live, but also to do business. I encourage you to check out the report. Copies are available from the Department of Economic and Community Development at 1920 South Germantown Road or on the city website at www.germantown-tn.gov. Thank you for taking time to focus on Germantown. We welcome your comments and ideas for what you'd like to hear about on this show. Email your feedback to focusongermantown@gmail.com. If you'd like more information about this show or other topics, visit us on our website at www.gmtvonline.org. From all of us here at Germantown Municipal Television from the City Hall, we invite you to join us when Focus on Germantown returns next month. Good night.